This is episode 20 of the Tech Yak Games podcast. What is up, my friends, in the world of games and technology?
The digital world.
The digital world.
The digital world we love to be part of.
It's my favorite world.
It really is. I mean, the real world's cool, too.
The real world's got some issues right now, okay?
I mean, look, the digital world's got some issues, too. Let's be real.
Digital world does got some issues, but the best part about the digital world,
You could turn it off
you can just turn it off.
and go to bed.
You can reboot it, have a new digital world.
That's true. You can reset it whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Cataclysm.
I saw a good meme, and it was like 1996. The internet is going to be millions of sites connected to the World Wide Web, and it's like today, the internet is 4 sites with pictures of everyone else's sites.
Yeah, that is accurate. That's the digital world we live in.
The digital world, baby.
Well, let me say it's good to be back.
It's so good to see you, Leo. It's been a couple weeks.
I really enjoyed that last episode. It was great to hear you guys. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, it was a very different touch.
It was.
Tech Yak Games, but I thought it was really good. I had a fun time doing it.
Yeah, I could tell.
It was fun picking brains. Like it felt like a real interview.
Yeah, it did kind of feel like that. It was cool.
And that's something I haven't really gotten to do because,
Hey, man, you can interview me anytime.
we're clearly co-hosts, though,
Yeah, I know.
I think even if I tried to interview you,
It probably wouldn't work that well.
well, you'd quickly, you'd overpower me and,
I'd turn it on its head.
you turn it on its head, and then we'd be sparring like usual,
Yeah, exactly.
as opposed to having an interview. But despite your worldwide travels and adventures, you were in Taiwan.
I was.
At
For
Computex.
Computex,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is a tech hardware
Yeah,
show.
it's basically, it's like the E3 of computer hardware, but it's in Taipei.
Yeah. So despite those adventures, have you had a chance to play any games?
Yeah, so I played a little bit, not as much as I normally would, but I actually did get to play, as we discussed on our previous episode. I got to play a little bit of Xenoblade. What's it called? I always forget. Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Nailed it.
I get it confused because there's Xenosaga, and then there was Xenogears, and then there was Xenosaga episode 1 through 3. Like, there's been a lot of these games.
And there's another Xenoblade, too.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Xenoblade Chronicles X or whatever for
Something,
the Wii U.
yeah, there's something weird.
Anyway, so this is the one on the Switch. It's like a giant sort of open world JRPG, very JRPG, like the most JRPG you could ever be. And I talked to, you played it, you beat it, right? You put some hours into it. And I was sort of bought it on a whim, and I was curious about it, and I played a lot of it. Overall, though, I would say I don't really think I'm going to keep playing it.
Okay.
It's, there's some stuff I like about it. We were just talking about before the show, I like the voice acting, which is surprising for like a JRPG that's not a super AAA. They did this thing where everyone's like super English.
Yeah.
Which is kind of odd choice, but I kind of like it. It works. It seemed like they had fun, and they got pretty good voice actors. It looks cool. The art design's very good. I think like the way the world looks.
Mm-hmm.
The story is interesting. It's just it feels very it's very hard to figure out.
Oh yeah,
it's not
a mystery.
It's not that much fun to actually play. The combat's okay, but it's very for me, and I'm sure it's a huge game with a lot of moving parts. So I'm sure if you put in the time, it all starts to click. I just feel like it didn't quite click fast enough for me.
It's one of the things you kind of got to be forced to play.
Yeah, and there's a lot of instant deaths, which I do not enjoy.
Yeah,
I do not like when you just get one shot at it for no reason through no fault of your own.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like even like Final Fantasy 15. Did you play through 15?
No, I haven't even touched it.
So even like playing that game in some ways was difficult and it was short and very abbreviated. And even in that,
some would say unfinished.
Yeah, some would say unfinished. But even that, like the JRPG kind of formula of like spend a ton of time and get combat ready, and like combat sucks for the first 20 hours.
Yeah,
and, it's hard to get really invested in those. I mean, that's kind of the issue with Persona too. It's like an amazing, stylish, beautiful, fun game with great music and cool characters.
Yeah.
And even then, you're like, I don't really love the gameplay.
Yeah, it takes some time before it kind of clicks.
Before it's happening and you're hitting combos all the time and doing the all-out attacks and like getting to the point where you can really trigger those and hit the counters all the time and kind of master combat takes so long that it's like it's hard to get engrossed, especially if you're not like super into the characters and stuff. So I get that. Plus, anime titties aren't important to everybody, and that game is
it is. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, it's got them,
and it's got everything. It's got all the tropes like we're discussing with the weird little creatures with the high voices. It's got like, it's very JRPG, which is fine.
And the cat girl.
Yeah, she was cool though.
Yeah, I like her a lot.
She seems like fun. And again, she was another example of the voice actor they chose, or voice actress or whatever, was really awesome and surprising, but a choice that clicked for me very quickly.
Almost like Australian sounding or something?
Yeah, or like deep England. I don't know. Yeah, it's cool though. It's not at all what you'd expect.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, pirate."
Right.
Yeah, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Yeah, I'm a cat girl that sweeps chimneys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm from Cockney. But I didn't like I kept dying all the time, and one thing that really pissed me off.
Oh, here we go.
Is when you're out in the open world, which is very cool. And then you draw aggro from some level 80 monster when you're just running to fight some little like level 8 rabbit. That's it. He just runs up, one shot you, and you're done. And what?
Part of me likes the openness of the world.
Yeah, that
like,
part's cool. That's the best part.
Everything is roaming, and like you can kind of engage these things you should. Like I do level scaling. I feel like has taken a lot away from games.
I agree.
But it does suck, especially because a lot of it is like, go from town A to town B, and it's like there's no road.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to not aggro the whole way through.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem, man, is like it's not really fun if the whole time you're just running around the periphery trying to avoid all the interesting stuff in the middle of the map.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I
don't enjoy that at all.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All they'd have to do is make like a 20 level differential where something 20 levels higher doesn't attack you or something like that. It just doesn't have to be a big deal.
Or even have just like walking paths for like common.
Something. Yeah.
If like in a lot of games there's like a road or a walking path, and it's generally safer, right?
Yeah.
And then you can put high level mobs off the walking path.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you can still aggro kind of low level stuff, but you wouldn't aggro unless you wanted to take a shortcut. Then you'd be like risking.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then also just again, part of this is just because there are so many systems. It's pretty fucking incomprehensible when you look at the menus. It's like everything's buried so deeply inside of itself, and it's not really friendly. And like even trying to check the map is a pain in the ass every time. And like, I don't know, it's just not, it doesn't feel streamlined. It feels very, very bloated.
It took me a long time to understand like combo attacks and like switching all the blades and what blades I want. Like, should I be summoning these and seeing what I get? Should I be saving them? Like, there's no really good indicator on like how you should proceed through the game. Or like what's kind of optimal, right?
Which could be a point in its favor in some ways. Like it does feel very big, and there's a lot there, and like you're getting your value for your money. You know what I mean? So I almost feel like I'm complaining about the fact there's too much. It's just so difficult to penetrate.
Yeah. My suggestion is it's a good game if you're traveling, or like you said, you're stuck on a plane.
Yeah. No, I had fun playing it.
You got to burn like 10 hours of flight time. Like, yeah, it's good. Like I said, I was dog sitting.
Yeah. It sounds like it kind of was in the perfect.
The Wi-Fi died, and I was just
the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I'm going to sit on this couch and just grind this mother out, know. And so yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of, and I think RPGs in general kind of have that, right? Like, because it reminds me when I was a kid, and it's like you just had nothing to do.
Yeah,
and you would just do everything in every game.
I think there was some review. I don't remember. It was one of the big reviews that reviewed this game, and they did say something about like most JRPGs don't respect your time, which is kind of par for the course. But this one really doesn't respect your time. Yeah. Like to the point where it's like almost like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, come on. But I don't know. Yeah, like you said, for the right person, the right place, at the right time, if you have a lot of time, it feels very dense. There's a lot there. So if you're the kind of person who can get into a game and really like gets its hooks into and you enjoy that, then check it out. As long as you don't mind some anime titties.
It's so funny that's the one I invested so much time in. Out of all like the recent JRPGs, right? Because it's not the best one.
No,
but
it has a lot going for it. I mean, like I said, just the sheer scale of it is pretty cool and very unique.
I think the production's actually really good.
Yeah, and it does look cool. What was with the blade, the like fake blade, or the not fake, but the blade that the weird little creature creates?
I don't remember.
Poppy or something.
Oh, Poppy? Yeah.
And you have to upgrade her by playing that weird like 2D. What is that about?
It is weird.
It's just strange choices like that are just like, what? It's like they took a lot of stuff and just jammed it all together in a game.
Yeah, she's
cool. And there's a lot of it.
She's cool, but yeah, I agree. It's weird, and she becomes actually really good. But yeah, playing that game sucks a lot. And it's not, I mean, the thing is, like, it's not
odd.
It's not even like a cool game.
Right, exactly.
Like, it is a bad, like if they just put Tetris in there and you just had to
or just like mark anything
really. Right? But it's like this like sink to the bottom or and then just, swim back up game, and it's really bad.
They should just put Xenogears in there in its entirety.
Anything.
But anyway, yeah. So other than that, I played a little bit. Actually, we can get into this, and then I'll ask you. I actually played a little bit of GTA Online.
What were you doing in GTA
Online? When we were talking about it last time we spoke about it, it was like, this sounds fun, man.
It gets you, bro.
It's not. It didn't get me.
It's hooks.
It tried to get me, but I just don't understand it. Like, so I got in.
It's so hard to understand.
I got in, and I was like running around, and then I'm like, what? I keep getting murdered, which is fine, but I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to get a car, but like I want a house. How do I get a fucking house?
You gotta make money, bitch.
Gotta make money moves.
You gotta make money moves.
But they should at least give you a house to start off with, even if it's like a shitty apartment.
Houses ain't free. Houses ain't free. What world do you think this is where houses are free?
Well, it's a video game world. It's the digital world.
I think I could drop some money for you if you wanted a house.
I mean, I just don't know how to even get it. Because, like, nice.
Now grab this belt loop.
What do I have to do
grab this fucking belt loop.
What do I have to do in your house? No, I mean, I'm down to play it more. It's just, like, I look around at the map. There's no missions. There's no, like, all of it's just weird and hard to understand.
And the phone always rings.
My character looks dope, though. She looks like a baller.
My character is terrifying looking.
Really? I can't wait.
She looks like the meanest bitch ever. I love her so much. Yeah. She's my favorite. She just looks so mad. Like, normally I'll make like a cute character, and this bitch looks like she chews nails. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh God. Like, it's great. Like when I enter like heists or like multiplayer modes, and it shows the portraits of everybody,
everyone's
and it's
like terrified.
Some dude with an afro and a swimsuit and this, and my chick's just in like military pants and a tank top with a hat on, and she just looks so mean.
She looks like she came from the Division.
She just looks so mean. She looks like she came from the Division. Yeah, she does. No, I can help you. It took me. I mean, I think that's what happened with me in GTA Online a lot is I would jump in, I'd play for an hour or something and just be like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'm not making any money. I don't have a car. Like, how do I keep a car? Like,
exactly.
Like, this doesn't.
I just need like a starting place to build on. And then I feel like I could be like, cool, I don't mind grinding. I just don't like, I have nothing. I'm just there.
Yeah. Like, this is completely nonsensical.
Yeah.
But
and there's just random markers all over the map, and everyone else knows exactly what they're doing.
It's not bad. I would say kind of the beginning of GTA Online, the best thing to do is don't treat it like kind of online. Treat it more like a multiplayer lobby of like, so there's like jobs you can take, and like you'll see them like Martine jobs. I think are like the most popular ones or like starting ones, and just keep playing them. And they're just like it'll be like the like in-game missions. It'll be like, oh, get your crew and go do this mission or do that mission.
Yeah.
And matchmake with 4 people, and usually you can just jump in one of their cars, and you can just kind of try and help out on the mission.
Yeah.
They'll basically destroy it because they're got
grinding
millions of dollars, and you know what I mean. Like me, like I could just spawn a helicopter with missiles, and you can just jump in and just destroy the mission. Or like a bulletproof car, and then you can kind of get rolling. But yeah, I get it. Tons of times I jumped into GTA Online and just fell off. Like, this is, especially like you start getting griefed, and you're just like, what is the point in this? Like, I can't even, you know what I mean? Like, I have nothing.
Yeah.
And there's people with flying rocket motorcycles flying over my head
and for narking.
Totally for some reason they're spending 30 freaking minutes just killing me every time I spawn. Like, what is the point in this? And then you learn like, oh, I could just change online lobbies. Like, I don't have to deal with this. I can just flip out another one. Most of the time, people just leave you alone. They don't really care. I think it's kind of rare to find like a server full of griefers. You could turn off PvP if you're not doing
that's cool.
specific things. Or you can just go in a solo lobby.
Which is also
offline
cool.
lobby and play online. There just won't be anybody in there.
Yeah.
And it kind of limits you from doing certain things, but those are things.
That might be a good place to start, at least, just to kind of try and get a feel for it.
And those are things you aren't ready to do anyways.
Because I really do like the idea of, I like that you make your own character. I like that. I like the concept of like, you got to build up your place in this world. That's awesome. It's very confusing the way they did it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like businesses, right? So like, so really the online aspects is you get your businesses going. Yeah. Whenever you're partaking in a business, you have to register for that business. So like, I'll be registered as a CEO most of the time I'm playing because I have a CEO business and I run most of what I like to do is do these exotic import-export car missions. So they'll basically tell you, like, we need this exotic car, go to this location, steal it, bring it back to the garage, fix it, and then drive it to the buyer.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Right? And you make like $100,000 every one of them, right? Which is a lot of money. And they're fun, but you have to be registered on an online server to do it so people can see you doing the mission, and they get paid if they stop you.
Oh,
not a lot of money, so it's not. Most people don't mess with you when you're doing.
But
they could. So that's kind of. But you're not there yet, so you don't need that.
Yeah.
You don't need that overhead to deal with.
Yeah, I think I just need to get a little bit of money. But even like, how do I even buy a house? Like, I couldn't even see that on the map.
It's on your phone.
Oh, it's all on your phone.
Yeah, on the web browser. If you go on the web browser, you can see all the stuff you can buy. Okay. It's on the map, but it's not. There's so much shit on the map. It's not easy confusing to see. Also, just buy, like, there's some guns you should buy, like, that are pretty straightforward. And those, like, guns you always keep. And,
that's cool.
And clothes you always keep, like, they just get added into your pool.
And then, do I have like a house I can go to and chill?
You don't have a fucking house.
I know, but do you get one?
Yeah, I have a high-rise apartment. Nice. I got a motorcycle club.
Maybe I could just come visit you.
Yeah, I got a import-export garage.
Yeah, maybe I should just hang out in your world. I don't even need my own.
I got weed at the house. I got booze.
I got all kinds of shit.
We can sit on the couch and rip bongs. That's something you can do in the game, bro.
That sounds fun.
That's something you can do in the game.
All right, I'll check it out a little more. Because,
I'll make some grilled cheese.
This starts sounding like a pretty good night.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun. We can fly in a helicopter.
Yeah, we can go steal some cars.
I got a BMX bikes downstairs.
Shit, dude, this is starting to sound pretty good.
Yeah, we can have a total bro day.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well,
all right, I'll build this up a little bit, and I'll check back in next week and let you know my progress.
And we'll touch base. I'll help you out.
That sounds good.
We can get rolling.
I'm down. So, yeah, long story short, that's more or less what I've been playing, but I'd love to know, Tony, since we didn't introduce ourselves. Tony, I'm Leo.
Yes, Leo.
What have you been playing while I've been gone?
Well,
first of all, how much did you miss me?
I missed you. What's the scale?
I don't know. Just a word. Moderate.
So moderate's the most?
No, I just was looking for one word.
I miss you a bunch.
Oh, okay.
How much you miss me?
Quite a lot.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
That's more than a bunch.
That's a little bit of moment of genuineness here.
Yeah. No, I do. I like seeing you. I like hanging out with you here.
We do have fun.
It's sad I'll be honest, I miss having you at work.
Yeah.
So that's no fun because it's not like the most, I don't know. I don't have a lot of work friends anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or not nearly as many. I used to kind of be close to a lot of people at work.
Yeah.
But, I don't relate, I think, to a lot of people in the office now. So I did miss having you here for that. But then I miss doing the show, too. These are very fun, special times for me. Like, I really like doing this.
I totally agree.
So I did miss that a lot.
Me too.
Me, Tony Stein, CEO of Tech Yeah Podcast Industries.
Yeah. And also an import-export business.
And also, you know what my business is called in GTA?
Let's see if I can guess. I probably won't be able to guess.
Tech Yeah Industries.
Are you serious? Well, way to be consistent.
Yeah, thank you.
We should start a podcast in the game.
I forgot what my motorcycle club. I honestly have been thinking about we should make an RP Tech Yeah server.
That would be fun.
Where Tech Yeah Industries runs the world.
Where it's an actual thing, yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys ever want us to do that, send me an email, techyeahpodcast@gmail.com. If I get enough input, we'll do it. Or tweet at us. You can find all our info at the techyeahpodcast.com email. Or techyeah.pizza.
Yeah, techyeah.pizza.
It is running. It is functional.
And it looks great.
Thank you. I want to do some updates. It's a very standard WordPress site.
Keep working on it.
So I've been tweaking at it, and I honestly want to get a good header kind of video clip of us to use. But that's neither here nor there. What I have been playing. So there's a lot of games I've been playing, and I didn't get a chance to talk about them last week because I was doing that interview.
Yeah.
But there's a couple games that have like hit my radar, and I might have mentioned it last week, but I played a lot of this game called Minion Masters.
No, I don't believe you did.
So it is kind of a Clash Royale style game.
Okay.
But on PC. And you, I don't know if you ever played Clash Royale.
No.
So it's kind of a card game.
Oh, I have played. That's the mobile game.
You build a small hand, and then you drop cards on the board that cost out of your mana pool that slowly recharges. You kind of got to push to the other player's tower. It's exactly like that, It's a little more fair, but still a little pay to winish. But you get a lot of the cards for free.
Yeah.
And upgrading cards isn't a thing. It's only you get like cosmetic points for upgrading them, but they aren't more powerful. Okay. So it's you can get the cards. It's not that big a deal. And that was pretty fun, but it didn't hook me very long. But I will say the thing that I did jump back into and kind of started to rob me of all of my time is Diablo 3.
Oh, Diablo.
So I've done a couple seasons in Diablo. I played it when it launched, which was quite a trying time.
Quite a terrible time for Diablo, yeah.
I played a lot of Diablo 2. I played Diablo 1 a bit. And so I was, when Diablo launched, I was very excited for it. And played a bit, quite a bit actually at launch. But kind of bounced, everyone kind of bounced.
Yeah.
But I've touched back in for a couple seasons, and now it's season 17, launched a few weeks ago. One of my coworkers upstairs, she actually brought her laptop in and was playing Diablo. And so I was like talking to her. I'm like, oh, you're playing Diablo? And she's like, yeah, the new season started, and the season reward is a really sick set of wings. If you do
I love wings. Those are like my favorite thing. The pets and the wings.
Yeah. So if you do all the seasonal achievements, you get the wings. And they're not normally wings for doing the seasonal achievements. So these wings are dope. They're like cosmic. So it looks like space in the wings. That sounds
so cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Shit, I might have to jump back in too.
I know. So I have been just grinding out Diablo nonstop. I fully went in like one monitor playing, one monitor YouTube videos on like builds and speedrun guides, and I'm just like full on immersed. I lucked out. I got like my full 6-piece set. I got the best in slot belt and bracer and everything, and I'm just like, I'm flying. I've been playing for like, I started over the weekend, and I'm at like GR 70 right now.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I'm crushing it. Like I am the king of the Diablo world right now.
Not the king.
Yeah. Come listen to my Diablo stories.
Asmodan. That's great, man. That sounds fun. Diablo is a great example of a game that exactly what you described, where like I play the shit out of it, nothing else for like 2 weeks, and I won't play it for a year, and then all of a sudden I'll drop back in. It's so easy to go in and out of.
Yeah, once I hit the seasonal achievement, I'll be completely like angrily over it. Like I'll be like, I'm never playing Diablo again.
Yeah,
but
and then 2 years I'll be like, but these wings.
Yeah, season 27
this pet is like a giant hamburger or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, if they had a giant hamburger
that'd be dope.
Dude, I'd do anything for a hamburger.
I think Diablo 2, and this may not be true anymore, but I think I've played Diablo 2 more than any other game in my life.
It's a good game.
I love it. And I do feel like it has a better vibe than Diablo 3 in terms of like it's more serious, and the art direction I think is more interesting.
It wasn't, it was still a little tongue-in-cheek at times.
It was, for sure.
But in general, I think the main campaign felt very serious and scary at times.
Yeah. No, right? I do miss that a little bit.
Yeah.
The lore was very interesting. And the lore in 3 is cool. It's just because of the sort of World of Warcraft aesthetic, it's just not quite the same, though the cinematics are still incredible.
Yeah, like when you hit that last world in Diablo 2, I can't remember what they're called.
Pandemonium.
Yeah, Pandemonium.
So cool.
It was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Like, it was like weird in a way that was like, I'm not super comfortable with this.
Yeah.
The imagery, like, maybe it's because I was younger, but like all the pentagrams and the blood, and it was just like,
it was scary. Same with the first one.
Yeah, like this is kind of scary in a way that was manageable. Like not in, which I appreciate. Like I am not into horror things. I don't like jump scares.
Yeah,
but like those,
it had a sense of place and environment.
Yeah, like these environments that are built to be like tense and scary and creepy. I think are so interesting, right? Especially because. I think the thing about Diablo 3 or Diablo games that I think are interesting, and the reason I appreciate that style of like, I don't even want to call it horror, but that style of kind of suspense is that it can't have jump scares.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not going to cop out and flash something scary in your face really quick to make you jump. You know what I mean? Like I get really anxious around that kind of stuff. And so it doesn't feed that kind of anxiety in me.
Agreed.
It's kind of reason I don't mind like zombie movies as much, at least usually slow zombies, because it's pretty rare that they pop in really, you know what I mean?
It's more about atmosphere as opposed to anxiety.
Even Resident Evil, for the most part, it does have its jumpy moments.
Resident Evil 2 does.
Yeah, but for the most part, you can you kind of know they're coming.
Yeah.
You know, like...
And even when they do, it's usually just because they're in a weird place. They're not, like, kicking open doors.
Yeah, they're not, like... Yeah.
Or they do, but after you've played through it once, you know.
Or you know, like, I'm going to walk by this window.
Yeah, and then you're going to hear...
Yeah. There very likely is going to be a zombie at this window. Like, I need to be prepared for it. And 9 times out of 10, there is a zombie that's going to come out.
That's why Mr. X is such a fucking pain, because he is pure RNG, and you never know. Like, there's been so many times where I'll open a door, and he's just there, and he punches you in the face, and that is scary. Yeah, it's not scary in the same way. It's not, like, traumatizing. It's just like,
Well, it's like Terminator scary.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But anyway.
But, yeah, so I think it's a little campy at times, Diablo 3. But not, you know...
It's so cool.
It's a good game.
It's a totally good game. I really enjoyed it. I just think I like 2 a little bit more in terms of I just like the gameplay and the way it is. But 3 has awesome classes, I think. Like, I love the Demon Hunter.
She was awesome. Is such a turn
My hatred runs low.
Oh, yeah. I love the wizard, right?
Yeah.
Like, always play wizards. Like, mages and wizards are, like, my thing in games. I mean, honestly, it's my thing in, like, any fantasy lore. Like, I love magic.
Yeah.
I love just the idea of these, like, human or non-human, like masters of all things, space and time. You know, like, just the whole premise is so interesting to me.
Well, you know, I wrote a book about wizards.
Did you?
I really did.
What's it called?
It's called The Fallen Ones, Part 1. It's on Amazon.
Really?
It's about wizards, and it's pretty cool. You might like it.
I want to write a story about a wizard.
Well, you should read mine first.
All right. I'm going to write a short story about a wizard, and you can read it and tell me if you think it's a good wizard story. I've had a wizard story in my head, and I've, like, written little shorts for it a bunch of times, but, like, never in a way that was, like, that was presented in the way I wanted it to be presented. Yeah. But yeah, I think I love everything wizards.
What if you looked at my book and it was exactly your story?
That would be
like, what the hell?
That would be a super wizard.
That would be magical.
You know, it's funny. Like, I was reading Twitter the other day, and it was some Neil deGrasse Tyson tweet, and it's like, you know, if you're not, you know, something about accepting science or whatever, or like, you know, or like the people are very anti-science right now, and someone posted like, yeah, if you're not willing to accept science, like, you know, get out of here or something. And I'm like, that's so unscientific. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really is.
Like, it's like the wizard thing, right? Like, that's wizardly. If your wizard book is my wizard story,
then that's
the most wizard shit ever, right? Like, that's the most wizard shit. And it's just like, you know, if the people that accept science are the people that doubt it.
Yeah, exactly.
In some ways. I'm not saying you should.
No, yeah, I hear you.
You know, and for everyone listening, I'm not saying that, you know, science is wrong.
Of course.
I'm saying we should use the best science to act on while also holding that science accountable and trying to find the truth.
The whole point of science is it's a tool set to determine what is the closest to true as we can ascertain.
Yeah, and take
it's
a course.
That simple, and that's
take a course of action that best follows the truth we know now.
Yeah.
While also knowing that truth may change.
Yeah.
Or
and
may
continuing
be wrong,
to push that forward. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need to get into the ethics of science. I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah. That could be for our other podcast.
That could be for
our forthcoming ethics podcast.
Our forthcoming podcast on the culture of science called Tech Science.
Science.
Yeah. So I played a ton of Diablo 3. And that's pretty much it. I've touched a couple things. I played a little bit of Rainbow Six. The new operators are coming out.
Yeah.
I don't think they've dropped yet. But
I don't know.
I know they're on the PTR.
I've been out of the loop completely.
I loaded the PTR. I didn't really play it, so I don't. Or do they call it a PTR even? I don't know.
I don't know. Close enough.
It's weird because that's like a fantasy. You know, player test realm is like a.
It does sound kind of fantasy.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Let us test the players in our realm.
Log on
our realm of wizardry.
I love it. I didn't know you were a wizard. This is so exciting. It's such exciting news for me.
I'll send you a link to the book. You can check it out.
Thank you. I'm trying to think if I played anything else over this time. I played a little auto chess.
Oh, nice. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Today, actually, at the new place, we have to play video games for half an hour every day.
Oh.
It's like part of the team exercise. So we've been playing WoW.
Oh, really? WoW Classic?
Yeah. No, not Classic.
Oh.
And I just started because, you know, I haven't paid for it, so I'm limited to level 1 through 20. But it's been fun. I just start a new character every day. Like, I started a night elf today, and it was like, oh, that's fun. It's a very charming game. It's just so it does feel old.
Yeah, WoW's an amazing game.
It is. I never put a lot of time into it, but it is. Even just starting a new character, I can see him like, yeah, this is very special.
Yeah, I have my beefs with WoW, how it kind of has become.
Yeah.
But there's no denying like how special WoW is. I put so much time into WoW. I probably had like so many WoW accounts just over. I used to buy and sell WoW accounts, like, because it took so long to level.
Yeah.
That a lot of times you would get into this thing where it's like, well, I'll just sell my 60 and buy a 60 and then sell that 60 and buy a 60.
You're like flipping
accounts all the time. And I loved WoW. I played, what's funny? So I was kind of the first of like my close friends that played World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of made fun of me because my friends played they weren't like non-PC gamers.
Yeah.
I was kind of not the first PC gamer. One of my really close friends was more into PC games than me, but out of my group, I played the most probably. But they played Counter-Strike a lot.
Yeah.
And I moved in with a group of friends. We had a computer room, and it was like 4 of us all in the corners.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fun. But they all played Counter-Strike, and I played WoW a lot. And they would just make fun of me relentlessly. And then one day, I was in the computer room, and I bought a rogue, right? I'd never had a rogue before. I always had mages and stuff, and I bought a rogue. And I can't remember where I was, but it was an undead rogue, and I was like griefing in Westfall, which is like the second starter town in the human side. And I'm just stealth, and I'm just like creeping along the town and just like stud locking people, backstabbing them and murdering them. And my friends are all just kind of like, they stop playing and they all turn around, they're watching, and they're like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm just killing everybody. And they're like, what? And I'm just like, yeah, I've never had a rogue. And this is what rogues do.
I'm committing mass murder so on an unforeseen scale.
Just nonstop. I'm just like, and then back into the shadows, back into stealth, creep around, find someone that lingers too far out and doesn't know, hasn't been alerted to my presence.
Someone like me.
Someone like you, and they wander out of town and just bam, just stun lock them, murder them, right? And I'm just murdering people all night, and they're just watching me for hours. By the next morning, everybody had WoW, right? Like they were all just like, this is amazing. And, so much of that charm is gone now, which I think is the saddest thing about WoW. Like, griefing sucks. Don't get me wrong. I understand how frustrating it is. But the great thing about that game, and this is such a tangent. Like, we barely started talking about WoW. But, like, you would just have these wars based on that type of thing, right? Like, I would go to a low-level town and gank a couple people. They would go into chat and be like, dude, this level 60's ganking in town. And then a couple level 60s would come back them up.
Kick your ass. It's like a gang war.
Yeah, and then I would be like, hey, like I'd tell my guild, like, hey, I'm in Westfall. There's a couple dudes out here that want to rumble. Like get out here. Then like a dozen people would show up, right? And then, because we're close to Alliance territory, like Alliance would just start flooding in to fight back. And you would just end up in these wars in towns where it's just like, there'd just be hunters on all the rooftops just like shooting and flaring everywhere looking for stealth people. And like, it was really exciting. Like you would get into these things, just be like, I cannot leave my computer. Like this is so good. Like there's no way I can get away from this. You would do like major, like main city raids where you would just have so many people. Cause like the main city guards were always so strong. Yeah. Right. But you would just get so many people to raid like the main city that there was no way the guards could kill you all, right? Because there's just so many. You're healing as you're going and rezzing people as you're going, and the tanks are just drawing all this aggro. Yeah, and you'd have like 2 raids full of people, like 80 people, right? Just rushing through town on mounts, right? Just trying to get to like the main town boss. Yeah, it was just so fun. Yeah, and so good. I was in this guild, and they kind of like have like an infamous like WoW moment they did because they like raided a funeral in WoW. Oh wow. And it was very, in retrospect, kind of we were all 20 years old at the time, or probably a little older, but we were all in our early and mid-20s. Like, we weren't the most rational people. I think as in my older age, I would just be like, who cares? What I mean? But we were also the Horde. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's their job.
Like, we were the Horde. We knew this was happening. They decided to have it in a PvP zone because honestly, they knew what was coming, right? Like you don't just do this and be like, oh, everyone's going to be cool, and the guild's called Serenity Now. And it's like infamous. Like if you Googled Serenity Now right now, like that would be the first thing that popped up. Yeah. and just like this huge raid on this funeral. And there's hundreds of people at it, right? And everyone is just like,
who's it a funeral for?
A player in game passed away.
Okay.
And so they took his character to the spot and had like a little moment, which is nice. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, like making it a moment of infamy kind of gave it weight that it never would have had otherwise.
No, I think you're right.
Which is cool. Like honestly,
yeah, they'll live on forever in a way that it wouldn't have.
I wish my funeral would become a fucking PvP party,
but like in real life.
In real life, right?
I'll make sure of it if I outlive you.
Just start boxing people. Yeah, just
show up and start throwing jabs.
Start throwing punches. Yo, he would have wanted this. Yeah, this is what he asked for. But yeah, I mean that stuff was so visceral and like interesting and fun.
What do you think is like that now? Like
nothing.
There's got to be something.
It's too expensive. I think the problem is like everything is instanced now.
Yeah.
So you don't have these, like the reason we could raid this funeral, and the only reason we did is because we were like one of the biggest horde guilds on a specific server this was happening on. This was in our turf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're the big horde. We're one of the big horde guilds, and this server is yours. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the horde zones belong to you. It is your job to hold the line, right?
Yeah.
And to stop alliance from coming into your areas and griefing lower level people.
Yeah.
And,
it's
like
your turf.
It's your turf, and so when you have this like single shard and everyone on there is, you see the same people and you know who's tough on the server. It's like no, like this is all like you didn't ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like and now everything is so instanced like that. You see people from all kinds of servers. You can just hop realms in the middle of a fight if you can just disappear into the sky because you moved out of the zone and came back and got instanced into a different instance.
Yeah.
And that sucks. You know what I mean? That takes it all away. But that's how games are now. Like there's none of that currently. It's sad.
It is sad. But there's got to be. I bet you there's something. I mean, I guess is that what Vanilla WoW's for? Is to kind of try and recapture that?
Sort of. I'm interested to see if Vanilla WoW. I mean, I haven't tried it, and I'm kind of interested, but I'm also kind of not. Like, I did not like the grind in Vanilla WoW at all. It was very difficult. The classes were not balanced at all. There's some very awkward, very unfun things about Vanilla WoW, and kind of things they learned as they went about like rogues had to make poisons all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is kind of a big point of contention. This isn't the only class that had something like this. But like, you coach your weapons and poisons as a rogue, right? Mm-hmm. Like one that'll slow people or one that'll randomly stun people. But it would have like 40 charges and you'd have to craft them. So you'd have to carry mats to make poisons all the time.
Yeah.
And craft them and coach your weapons. And then they'd run out, and you'd just be like,
at the worst possible time.
Yeah, or just not even the worst time. It's just like, I'll be there in a couple minutes. You know, like,
come on, let's go fight this boss.
Yeah, warlocks had to siphon soul stones out of enemies, so you would have to kill something, and then the killing blow would have to be using the specific drain spell, and you'd use those stones to summon or to make summoning portals to like teleport people around because there's no fast travel in WoW. Right. So it was just very much like, I don't have any stones, and we're in the middle of a town. Like it's a 6-minute walk to an enemy, like, so I guess I'll start walking, like, you know what I mean? Or like,
see you guys later.
Or we're in a raid. I can't kill anything alone.
Yeah.
They're all stronger than me. And the closest thing I can kill by myself is very far away.
Yeah.
And so like, and I can't mount in here because we're indoors. And so there's stuff like that was just very unfun in a way. But people are loving Vanilla WoW.
Are they?
So yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good things. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I might touch it again.
Might be fun to check it out.
Yeah, I was a WoW lover back in the day. I was really into it.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
I wish I could get that into something. I really enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy 14. I think I'm going to continue. I didn't pay for it because I left for a week. And when I came back, I tried to log in, and it was like, hey, you got to pay. And I was like, fuck, I probably will, though.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fun
I
game.
really liked what I played. Yeah, and another $15, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Final Fantasy is it doesn't have the PvP stuff that I really like.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
It has PvP, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
WoW had really fun. Like WoW arenas, I had that's 2v2s, 3v3, or 5v5s, I think. And that was really fun. Like I really got into playing that for a long time. But yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is not that. But I'm glad it's not. It's definitely not a game.
It's not trying to be.
Not every game has to be that.
Not every game has to be exactly the same. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, big statement. That's a big league.
Very brave.
It's a brave, big statement. Not every game has to be esports ready. Is my take on that. I feel like we've been going on these games we played for so long that we're not going to have time to get to the news of the day.
Well, let's get to the news.
I forgot what news we're going to talk about.
Well, let's just kind of go through. I know I missed a lot. There were some leaks.
Yeah, I mean, the recent thing, I think the most interesting thing I saw recently was that Google Stadia thing.
Yeah. I agree. Anyway, moving on. No, let's talk about it.
That's the whole story. No, so Kotaku ran a story
yesterday
talking about, so if you don't know what Google Stadia is, it's Google's planned streaming
where you've been living.
Yeah, where you've been living, but Google's planned streaming service. We don't know how it's going to be priced. We don't know how it's going to work yet, but they're having a big keynote, I guess, tomorrow. Kind of in light of E3, this is the time. Everything's going to start hitting from really tomorrow through the beginning of next week.
Yep.
The hot times, right? So
you're definitely going to want to tune in next week.
Oh, next week's going to be...
It's going to be hot off the presses.
It's going to be hot off the presses.
We're going to be there.
Yeah, we might want to record a little earlier, actually.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll talk about it. But it's going to be hot off the presses. But so yesterday leaked that Stadia would include Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has not been the largest, it hasn't had the strongest persistent following of the kind of...
But people like it.
But people like it. It's
the people who like it really like it.
And I played quite a bit of it. I mean, I think Q must have gone to heaven when he saw that.
Yeah, I wish I could talk to him, and I'll ask him about 83. Yeah. I wonder if that'll make him a believer.
I think what's really exciting about that is, for one, they announced cross progression. We're not sure if PlayStation's going to count.
That is very
cool. But they did
announce
announce cross progression, and it's kind of what I was saying about Stadia. I think the strength is you play Destiny 2 at home on your PC or on Xbox or whatever.
Max out settings.
Yeah, max your settings, do whatever you want, and then if you're staying at your girlfriend's house or on vacation or you're staying with your parents or dog sitting, you can just boot it up on any device, plug a controller in, and you're playing your game of Destiny 2.
Yeah, that is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and even if it's not perfect,
who cares? It's not your the way you experience it.
Yeah, and it's it's the good enough version, right?
As long as it's good enough. I'll be curious to see how it works with with netcode and all that stuff. It'll be interesting to see how it performs, but it makes sense.
I will say that Odyssey beta on Google was good.
Yeah, it was good. It was surprisingly good.
It was really good.
But even
shocked.
That's different because that's single player mostly. So it'll just be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, I think the thing that's interesting with Stadia, right, is, I think a lot of the things about, netcode are almost going to be, I don't want to say simpler.
That's what I'm wondering is if this won't kind of streamline. I don't really know enough about it, but I do wonder if maybe this will be it's already all online. Who gives a shit? Yeah,
so kind of the thing I was saying about Stadia when we talked about it when they first announced it on the show, was that, a lot of the perception we have of kind of, low ping or high tick rate or whatever, right? A lot of those things are illusions.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of what you think is happening is not what the server sees as actually happening in the game, right? A lot of it's kind of a rollback technology they use where you do what you think you should do, the other players does what they think they're doing, and the server kind of meets them somewhere in the middle that makes sense based on the inputs that happened, right? And so, that's why you play Call of Duty, you see a kill cam, and it's like, I shot that guy, and I didn't even see that I shot him, right? That's because that rollback technology is like, no, he shot first.
Yeah.
You just didn't feel that because you weren't really displaying that version of it, right?
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is Stadia can alleviate a lot of that because both people are directly inputting to a more central server system with only controller inputs.
Yeah.
But it's also going to look worse.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's where you're going to have a problem is they can't do the rollback and have accurate input on the same spot, right? If I'm player A and I send my input to the server, and player B sends their input to the server, it's not going to be able to display like a rollback. It'll actually probably be a higher tick version I see.
Yeah.
But I won't have that fake version where I think I shot him.
Yeah.
And I think people want to see that fake version where they think they shot them more than they want to see the accurate version where it doesn't, it looks a little less responsive.
You can't handle the truth.
Right? Yeah.
No, that's true. I think that'll be the kind of thing where it'll be interesting to see how it performs, especially compared to a single player game. Like, and I wonder too about something that requires extraordinarily precise action, like an action game or like an action game or a fighting game.
Mm-hmm.
Like how would a fighting game work on Stadia? It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, because I mean, I think that's what's so interesting too. Like fighting games were kind of the king of this rollback technology, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's like their whole thing.
It's kind of what it was invented for. I can't remember what it was called, but they implemented for online fighting games is like, what I was talking about, but in a much simpler form, because fighting games are so much more controlled.
Yeah.
Is that they can do all this predictive stuff in the background, take your inputs, kind of be like, no, like you wouldn't hit that fireball, and kind of send you back nah, you got blocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they can be creative and kind of spoof around it. Where, if you're playing it through Stadia, you might see more accurate versions of what you are doing.
But I wonder if people actually like that.
I don't think they will. And I think that's going to be a real problem for Stadia. But, I think if they're smart, they pitch Stadia as a supplement.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we talked about that, how it's like, this is not your primary machine.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you have it in your back pocket with your smartphone if you ever want it.
Yeah, if you need to see Xur, right, and you're not going to be home, right, you can just pull up your phone, launch Stadia, grab a controller you keep in your car.
Which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and just have the full version of the game. It's not going to look great, you know, to be small.
And it might not even perform great, but as long as you can get to Xur.
Yeah, but you can do the things you need to do.
Get whatever weird shit he's selling.
The price point just has to make sense.
Yeah,
like,
that's the most curious thing.
They can't pretend like it's your primary gaming service, right?
Agreed.
But, I think for a lot of people, if you want to play Peggle, right? Oh, I love Peggle.
Peggle's fun.
I played some Peggle, actually, last week, too. But we don't even talk about that. But if you want to play some Peggle, it's not going to affect the way the balls bounce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to play Candy Crush or Bejeweled, right? Like, shit's going to work perfect.
Or even Assassin's Creed, apparently.
Even Odyssey, right?
Which is not a simple thing.
Oh, no. I mean, I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I was definitely impressed.
And I think the way it uses, like, the kind of YouTube-style video scaling to keep a consistent frame rate, I thought was very impressive.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it gets a little bitty or like...
Yeah, there's some like artifacting.
So it gets artifacting, but it maintains that frame rate by modulating that the graphics so much.
And again, it'll be interesting to see more than just one highly curated experience.
Yeah, and a full on like what if it catches on? Like are you going to be able to sustain that, right?
Yeah, what if it does get big and everyone wants to use it?
Cuz YouTube gets finicky.
It sure does.
There are very much times where you're like, I have good internet, all the videos will load, but this video just will not play.
Yeah, because everyone's watching it.
Yeah, because everyone's watching it, or it just has like you hit a moment and it just spins, and it's like I can fast forward past it and it works.
Yeah,
I can go before it and it works, but it hits this moment.
You can do that one moment. Hell
it
no.
will not pull this moment down. Right?
Maybe it's censoring it for you. It's something that would really upset you.
Yeah, maybe.
And you just don't know. It's like, trust me, Tony, you don't want to see this weird shit.
Maybe it's perceiving that it's hate speech adjacent. Yeah. Did you see all the new YouTube stuff?
No.
Oh, they just announced this thing about that they're going to start banning accounts that like they named a lot of specific things like 9/11 conspiracies, Sandy Hook conspiracies,
right. Basically InfoWars stuff.
And I mean, I don't really have an issue with that per se. I just think that I have a real problem with the company kind of taking this like, no, they really consider themselves like a utility, right? Based on the freedoms they're allowed as far as having no responsibility for what's on their platform, right? Like if they're a private company and they're like, we're a private company, we can do what we want, then you're responsible for the content that's on there. If something illegal happens, you're liable to be sued, right? It's not the person that makes the video's responsibility. Yeah. It's your responsibility what you put up there. But they've washed their hands of that. They said, no, like, we're just providing utility. We're not responsible for this. But then as soon as they want to change the discourse, they feel it's unpopular to do that. They're like, we're a private company. Okay, we get to dictate what's on here. It's like you can't have both sides of that. So either you're a public utility and, the post office can't be like, we're not sending your mail anymore because we don't like what you write.
Yeah, it's got to be one or the other.
It's got to be one or the other. And it's like, if you want to be responsible for what's on here, then you need to be responsible for what's on here. And I think that the problem is that by being this kind of utility, they've allowed themselves to become kind of the public square for conversation. Right? I feel like Twitter's the same way, right? Like they've been like, no, we're open, say what you want, Everyone kind of comes there and congregates, and then they're like, now we're going to curate what's allowed to be seen. And, I don't really want Google deciding what the truth is, right? Like I'm not a fan of Sandy Hook conspiracies or 9/11 conspiracies, but also like Tiananmen Square happened and China doesn't. Yeah. There's a lot of things that we know that have happened that are tragic and important to our history that governments deny. Yeah. Right? Or that corporations would be happy to deny in place of those governments. Google is the number one contributor to campaigns. They spend the most money in our country funding politicians, and to think that that's not going to be this is our gaming show. I'm sorry. I get I totally soapboxed out on this thing, but it's like it so fires me up.
It's gaming adjacent.
It is gaming adjacent. I really cringe when I see this happen, because to me this is what totalitarianism looks like, right? It's not the president up there being like, everyone get in a row and mind your manners, right? It's kind of this, it's this kind of curating the truth and kind of dictating what that truth will be, and it's very easy to do it when you say, Steven Crowder can't call people fags. It's like, yeah, that sucks. Like, yeah, fuck that guy. I agree, fuck that guy. But using him as the kind of scapegoat for your kind of agenda or your kind of your framing of the narrative, I think is very dangerous. It's very easy to do. Yeah. It's very easy to support, and it's a very dangerous course of thought.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it develops.
Yeah. I mean,
because I agree. I mean, on the one hand, I'd be like, well, then don't fucking use Google and your problem solved. But that is obviously becoming increasingly more and more difficult.
Yeah, it's kind of beyond your capabilities. And they've spent a lot of money.
And then also, how the hell are you going to use Stadia?
Yeah, how are you going to play Destiny 2
on your cell phone?
On your cell phone.
If you don't use Google.
If you don't use Google. Yeah, so it's like, I got to accept this corporate version of the truth. Yeah. Just so you
can find Xur on the go.
Xur on the go. Just so I can get my Warlock light level capped so I can do the raid.
You got to.
Right?
It's worth it.
I got games to game.
You got games to game. That should be the tagline of the show.
I
got games to game.
Yeah, I got games to game. Okay, I got no time to be worried about the politics.
About the truth.
Yeah, the truth.
I got no time for the truth. I gotta find Xur.
Yeah, I got no time for the truth. I got Diablo 3 runs planned all night long. All right, I gotta get to GR100. All right, I got no time for this.
We got our priorities in line around here.
We do got our priorities in line, but yeah, I mean. I guess, my take, and if anyone's listening, is just like, think about the way these tools can be used, right? Yeah. And I think that if anything, look back at, the last presidential term prior to this, and think of the ways that we empowered the shitty president to do shitty things, based on trying to do good things through means that we were trying to protect ourselves from. Mm-hmm. And I think we need to look at that with everything, with corporations, with gaming companies, right? Like, it's a lot of legislation going through about loot boxes and stuff right now. Like let's think about, do we want these laws? Are these laws going to protect us? Yeah. Or hinder us from being a free and liberal people.
And it's also that thing about short term versus long term. Like what might make sense in a very short term and make a few people happy is not, sometimes it is, but it's not necessarily the right thing always.
Yeah. Preserving liberty, I think, is such an important part of of our government and what we're trying to accomplish as a country. I think like our manifesto, like, you know, I think people like, oh, liberalism, right? Liberty is always, you know, the way to be, right?
Yeah. Because should be the highest priority.
Yeah, it should be the highest priority. Everyone should be free to live their lives and be happy and do what they want. And you don't get there by abolishing liberties. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and that's what I mean. This applies to games. This applies to everything, right? Like, and we got to make sure we're watching it and we're intellectually honest with kind of what we want to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
So you people out there, you need to remember this.
They're not going to remember this. They're going to be like, I cannot believe that guy is such an alt-right asshole. I wouldn't go that far. I know. That's where people always go.
I know. It's
you
funny.
Know. Yeah, it is funny. I'm not going to stop. I was going to keep going. I'm like, I'm going to stop. What else hit the news? We had some leaks.
Yeah. There was one kind of random thing, although I guess it's vaguely related to what you just talked about.
Here?
I was curious if you watched the Call of Duty trailer.
I did watch.
And what did you think about that? Or what do you think about first of all?
So I've heard a lot about the game so far. Like, I've been listening to a lot of the industry buzz
I'd love to hear. My first initial reaction, again, I only just saw it like while I was gone, so I haven't really been sort of. So I watched the trailer. It was interesting. I think the name is just a catastrophically stupid ass idea. Like, it's just so confusing and so unnecessary to call it Modern Warfare. Like, why?
I think,
just call it anything else. Like, call it Call of Duty Shadows. Done. Like, why are they calling it the same thing? Especially since a remake just got made, or a remaster. Like, it's just bizarre.
I would almost rather go back to just calling it Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's just do that.
Modern Warfare again. Than doing the same thing.
It's very confusing and bizarre. Yeah. But it was interesting. I see what they're trying to do, where they're like, all right, they're kind of doing a reboot, James Bond style, where they're like, it's got a little out of hand. Let's try and bring it back to its roots. It'll be interesting to see.
My initial response is I like the time. I'm excited to see a current war version of Call of Duty. A modern
warfare.
I mean,
would you say?
Because I think we call it future war is like the later ones, right? So it's like current war, contemporary version of Call of Duty.
That's what they should call it. Call of Duty contemporary.
Contemporary Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. Because I think, when they go to this future war thing, I think that they are not good at it. I think that they...
well, some of them are fun.
They're fun, but I think they're creatively weak. Right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think they're invented guns and future tech and, you know what I mean? Like they're just not great, as far as... And, maybe these are relevant future tech things, but they're not great for gameplay, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, and a lot of the operators end up being like superheroes more than future soldiers, and in a way that's really strange. And so I'm not really into that. And I think that they did I know they're going to have crazy operators again anyway, so it'll probably be more like Advanced Warfare than the previous ones, or like Black Ops style games, right? But I like when I really liked Modern Warfare 2. So,
yeah, me too. Modern Warfare is one of my favorite first-person shooters ever.
It was great.
It's so good.
It was so great. And so I'm hoping they go back to that. The trailer was, and after hearing kind of people talk about the trailer post, or like people talking about the impressions they got to see at the early E3 events, I think it's a little troublesome. I think it's a little. I think it's going to be politically. I think it's going to get trashed politically when it comes out. I don't think that that they're good at making these games.
Yeah, that's the question. Is like, because it sounds to me like they are going to try. It's something kind of new, which I applaud on the one hand. But yeah, they've never been able to do this before. So the Russia thing. What was that?
Yeah,
called?
they're trying to make No Russians.
Yeah, No Russians, which was like.
Yeah.
Again, it's cool they did it, but it did not land. I didn't feel like, even at the time, even when I was young, I was like, this feels like kind of dumb and not.
It's just sensational.
Yeah, not in an interesting way. Like, they're not actually saying anything. So I don't know. But then again, that was a while ago. And if they spent a lot of time and really prioritized, maybe. I kind of feel the same way. I'm like, it'd be cool if they pulled it off, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, and I guess you play multiple perspectives in the game. So like,
that's cool.
You play the soldier, but then you play like these like like militant like guerrilla force people.
Yeah, you play like the girl who got caught in the explosion. That sounds cool.
Yeah, but I think some of it is like you kind of play the bad guys too.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure. I just it seems like their premise is there's no good guys in war or whatever, you know. And I think what you're going to end up with is but there's gooder guys. Yeah. And they're usually whiter. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They're usually closer to America.
And usually closer to
the people who created the game.
They're usually more like you than the other, you know, than the less gooder people that you know, like have been through tragic things. And you know, I don't think that message is, I don't want to say right or wrong, you know. I think that there's and this, see, you drive me down these paths.
All I do is mention Modern Warfare.
I know, but it's I think there is I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that thought process. It's on a broad scale, right? I think if you're going to have a shitty message, it should be like, hey, we're the good guys. Like I don't think that's fucked up to do, right? But I hope that if you're going to tell these smaller stories and try and kind of humanize everyone, I hope that they do it in a way that is earned and impactful.
Yeah. My only thing with that is I totally agree with everything you just said. My only concern is this, and what always sort of troubles me is this cognitive dissonance between these games that are trying to do all this, which I think is admirable to try and push that forward, but also they're supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I think so.
And to me, there's something inherently creepy about like, we're going to make this war fucking real and dark and gritty. It's going to be like nothing you've ever seen. But they still have to balance it, but it's going to be super fun to shoot all these people.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, it almost feels like they're not really being genuine when they say, we're really going to try. Because I remember my mom said this when I was very young. I was playing like the first Medal of Honor or some shit. And I was like, isn't this cool and real? And I remember she said, she was like, if this war game was realistic, you wouldn't want to play it. Yeah. Like, it wouldn't be a fun game. And I remember thinking about that, like, yeah, that's true. It can never be too realistic, or it would just be, I mean, it could never be realistic because you're just staring at a screen. Mm-hmm. But that balance of trying to be, like, super real and make you feel the emotions that these people have gone through in war while playing a video game, there is something inherently impossible about that.
Yeah, if that's the case, can I just be a pacifist?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, that would be interesting, yeah.
That would be interesting.
Or is it supposed to be like a horror game where you're not supposed to be enjoying it and they're enjoying it for it? Like, you know, they can play with that a little bit, and I don't really feel like any war game has. It's more like really want you to feel that, but you want to feel empowered and cool. And that balance is and like you said, that's not inherently bad. Like Modern Warfare, the first one, did a great job of telling that story. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I just feel like we've never seen them really figure that out and walk that tightrope.
And there was a real silliness to Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was less at the time. Obviously, it's older now. But like, I remember when it came out, I took it very seriously.
I mean, I never really got into the campaigns of those games, so I can't say I'm the biggest.
The first one I did.
I always was very disrespectful to their campaigns and what they were.
Yeah, that's why they don't make them anymore.
And the way they were
because of people
written,
like you.
That's fine. I just never thought they were written in a way or felt like a way to make me feel like, oh, this matters, or these are real people, or these people have emotions and feelings. Yeah. You know, I felt like, oh, this is some fucking guile looking dipshit. Yeah. You know, that's I mean, you know what I mean? That's doing dip and trying to blow people's dicks off. Like he's not, you know, like a sympathetic character. Yeah. Right? Like,
no, I agree with that.
You know, like I was never like, oh, this is just a child that's you know been pulled from his home.
Yeah, they've never tried to go down that road.
No, and I feel like
they've always been very like hurrah, hurrah,
yeah, hoorah! Yeah. I'm a killer, I'm a machine, you know. And it's like, you know,
which again is fine, but if you're trying to go in a different direction, they've never done it yet. So I'd be interested to see if they can.
It's just very easy to minimize. I think in my mind, or at least where I was when I played those games, like, oh, I know these dipshits. I don't care. Yeah, guys. You know, like,
and the fact that it's literally the same characters in all the games. Yeah, is also doesn't really help with that.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out. And I mean, if there's one thing I've learned in these past at least few years, is like you can't count these games out before they launch. You know, I think we've had a lot of big surprises. Absolutely. As far as just amazing campaigns that you didn't expect that had a lot of impact. Do I think this will be one of them? No, if I had to bet, but I could definitely be surprised, and I hope I am. Yeah. To be honest, I think it looks really cool, and it sounds like the tech in this game is really good.
Yeah.
You know, like the sound tech they're talking about, that they're using kind of volumetric sound and everything. You know, in the demo they were saying that like the guy was shooting and then walked up next to a car and shot, and you could hear the shells pinging off the car.
Yeah.
You know, and like shooting different environments sounds different. The night vision is like functional. Like it doesn't just fake it and light up the things that should be night visioned. Like it looks for heat signatures and shows you where they are, you know?
So again, this is all very cool, but how is that relevant to like trying to tell a cool story? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's a perfect example of sort of those two, like, oh,
that's what I'm saying.
We want to make the fucking coolest war game, which is, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But trying to walk that balance will be interesting to see if they can.
That's what I'm saying. If it's shitty cool tech with fun guns, I mean, I think
it'll still be cool. It'll still be fine.
I'd be much happier with it.
And it'll still sell 50 trillion copies.
Than if it's a shitty sob story about
with also shitty guns.
Yeah, about some Marine, and it seems like London, whose fucking dog dies on Ramadan, right? And he shoots a fucking Muslim teenager because of it, and spawns a cycle of violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like just some shit that's supposed to make us feel like everyone's a bad guy and everyone's a good guy, and it's so who's to say? You know?
Yeah.
It's funny. I think I'm like the biggest moderate. I know people get so mad at me for being a centrist, and it's like, and you look at games like this, and it's like, no, this is centrism. Like, this is nobody's ever wrong. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, I haven't seen the game. I don't know what it's going to be, but
that's sort of a worst case scenario.
It just feels like that's the marketing around it is everybody's wrong and everybody's right, and it's like that's not what life feels like.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's silly. That's a silly process, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, I'd rather you said the good guys were the bad guys than this bullshit.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
We will see.
It'll be interesting to see. And again, I'm just glad they're. I don't know. I always get excited when people try something new.
And real talk, I'm excited for it.
Even when it fails, it's like, well, at least they tried.
Yeah, I'm hype. I'm excited for the game. Yeah. I know I'm like down talking right now. I'm in.
I'm more excited than I have been for any Call of Duty game in a while.
I love Call of Duty games.
Yeah, I like the older ones.
Yeah.
I used to love them, but I kind of fell off. Like World War II was not good.
No, Black Ops 4. I had a lot of fun.
Black Ops 4 is fun, but that's a very different. Yeah, that's obviously this is basically the anti Black Ops 4.
Sort of. I mean,
which I'm
see.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of how they're positing it, which I'm okay with. I like Black Ops 4 as well because it was very unapologetically goofy and fucking annoying, you could argue, but the gameplay was really fun.
Annoying.
Come on, bro!
Yeah.
Literally, he talks like this.
My friend always makes fun of me because of our like Black Ops 4 voices we did back in the day when we started this.
Yeah.
Because I remember I said something like, yeah, let's fucking suck some dicks and blow some heads off or something. He's like, what?
It's true though. That poor guy.
It is like it's how you feel when you're playing. I mean, it's not what they say, but it's like, let me rub your muscles and then we'll finish these assholes off. And you're like, what are you like?
Oh God,
like
so
I can't
douchey.
stand this. It's just like Coors Light and Skull. It's like comes out of your disk drive when you're playing the game
so hard. It's just trying so fucking hard.
Yeah, it is trying so hard, and it's super lame.
It is, but it's fun.
Great.
It's
a
fun game.
I love the game. That's what I mean. I'm talking shit about Modern Warfare. I am really hyped to play the game.
Me too.
I'm excited to see how the weapon sets work.
Yep.
I'm excited to see I hope they got a dope sniper rifle like Modern Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in on playing.
Oh, me too.
Game.
I'm very excited.
I'm very excited. What else? There's a couple other leaks. I actually heard something about a Fable leak, but that was
I didn't hear about that.
Unsubstantiated. But if they announce one at E3, then I am a wizard.
Call it here first, Paul.
If they don't announce at E3,
then it was all made up.
Then I had a bad source.
He's just bullshitting.
What can I say? Sometimes you get bad.
He's not infallible.
Sometimes you get bad intel. What am I going to do?
Yeah,
I think this is actually some Reddit bullshit, so it could very well be totally fake.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's always a good guess that there's probably a new Fable thing coming. So you could argue
it seems like we're there.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Xbox needs a lot of help.
That would be cool, a modern Fable.
That
would actually be pretty compelling.
I mean, I know we say this every year. I feel like this is like the makest or breakest year for Xbox. Like, I know that they're doing reasonably well, but if they need to gain and not like gain in like sales or They need to gain in popularity.
Yeah.
And show the world that
image.
An image, and show the world that they know how to make games or produce games. I guess they don't make them, but produce games moving forward. Because despite all of the awesome, I think Phil Spencer's great.
Yeah.
I love everything he says. I love the way he messages his things. I think he does and says the right things. Despite all of that and me thinking he seems like a very pleasant guy, their games suck.
Yeah, and it has not worked yet.
And they just have not announced anything exciting. I'm not hyped for Gears of War Pop. I'm not, you know what I mean? There's nothing in their pipeline that is interesting or makes me want to.
Yeah, people don't even talk about Halo Infinite. It's everyone forgot about it.
I mean, I don't think anybody cares.
Well, right, that's what I'm saying. It's and that's Halo. That's their fucking Halo Mary.
You know, it was Halo 6 or something?
It's Halo 6, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it better be very different, and
I don't think it will be.
And I don't think it will be. And I think that's the issue, right? I think people talk about Borderlands they're so excited for it, and I feel like it's the same thing. You can't make the same game anymore. This isn't that environment where people are going to respect your desire to make, it's the new version of the same game. That is not what people want out of games, because you got to do something to separate it, right? I think that's what Capcom's done. So, I mean, we talk about Capcom so much. I think they're in such an exciting place right now. But, the things Resident Evil 2 did, the things Devil May Cry did, just stylistically making those games a very... If you'd never played Resident Evil or you'd never played Devil May Cry and you grab one of those games, it's just this is sick, man. Yeah. This is dope.
Yeah,
and I just don't think Halo's going to be that,
or Gears of War 5,
or Gears is definitely not going to be that.
Yeah, I think a lot about what Breath of the Wild did, where it was just what? It's so different and so out there, and yet does maintain the core of it. That's what they need. Yeah. But that's not that. But that's the thing; those franchises have never been that. The first Halo was that when it came out. That was very revolutionary for the time. But
I thought Halo 3 did a lot of things.
Like what? I mean, it was a good game, but it was very much it's Halo on the Xbox 360.
Well, I guess at that point, that's kind of what I'm saying too. I'm kind of agreeing with you, right? Is the 360 launch, it was enough to modernize the game to 360.
Yeah.
Right? Tighten up the controls, make them feel current, right? Graphically and playability and frame rates. And now it's you can't the jump isn't far enough.
Yeah.
To the river's not wide enough for you to just be see, we made it across. No one's impressed.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? You need to do something to make that, to stick that landing.
They need a new Fable.
They need a new Fable. So back to me being a wizard. They need a new Fable.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think I am going to go to Xbox on Sunday. So
now that I said that,
yeah, maybe.
You got tickets?
Yeah.
You can get me in?
I mean, I got a ticket. I don't know if that's how it works.
What the fuck?
I thought you had one.
I thought we were co-hosts here.
We are, but I don't know.
I don't know anybody at Microsoft.
I don't either. I don't know how I got it.
How'd you get it?
I don't know. I just always go.
Who'd you call?
I think his name was Spencer, Philip.
Oh, that guy.
That was Bill.
He's
Gates?
a nobody.
William Gates. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Will.Gates at Microsoft.com. Yeah, I email him all the time.
At Hotmail. He's still rocking Hotmail.
He's all at MSN.com.
Yeah, MSN.
All right, we've gone pretty long already. We don't need to. I'm having a good time.
No, I know it's good to be back.
So fun doing this again. But for all the TYPs out there, that's the Tech Yeah people.
Yeah, or the Tech Yeah podcast people. Could be TYPP.
I don't like that.
That sounds like a trade deal or something.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry I said it.
Please.
If any of you ever say that.
No one ever.
So help us God.
Go to techyeah.pizza. Check us out.
Yeah.
It's
all there, man.
It's all there.
TechYeah.pizza. It's up. It's running. It looks great, and everything you need is there. If you want to reach out, you want to see old episodes, it's all there.
And
the future of the internet.
It's the future of the internet.
It's unlike anything you've ever seen.
It's all new. You'll see it, and you'll be like, this looks like a familiar format, but don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. It's all new. And yeah, I mean, if I could ask you guys one thing, just if you like the show, tell a friend about it.
Yeah.
Get your mom to listen. Post it on your Twitter.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? Just, we're a young, burgeoning podcast group. And would love to.
Any way you want to help out, we'd be very grateful.
Would love to talk to a little more people. And I'm trying to think if I owe anybody any shout outs today, but I'll just give one to Andy, my boy.
Yeah.
He's on leave. Shout out to you. Anybody you want to give a shout out to while we're here?
No, I was just agreeing with you.
You don't have any shout outs?
No, I'm just, I'm here.
Leo's mom. What's your mom's name?
Victoria.
Victoria, you had that sassy comeback on War Games.
Yeah, that's right. That's a shout out. That's a shout out for the week.
That's real fucking
That's
talk,
real
Victoria.
mom talk.
I'm into it. Keep it real, and I like it. And with that, we are done. I love you guys.
And we'll see you next week. You'll hear us next week.
You'll hear us next week. You'll see us next week, too. We'll have a video.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.